Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Rice to Manchester City is the topic we are discussing on the live stream. It looks like another second club is going to be bidding for Declan Rice in the next 24 hours, according to the Telegraph, and that club could be Manchester City. Now, it is not yet revealed which club is going to be bidding. So it might be City, it might be Bayern, it might be United, but we can understand that there is going to be a second bid in the next 24 hours from a second club for Declan Rice. Of course, Manchester City are now the real opponents of Arsenal in this deal, with Bayern, Chelsea, and Man United all reportedly walking away. It could be Manchester City's chance to sign Declan Rice. And I tell you what, this is one of the deals we've done like absolute idiots. I've looked at all the deals that we've missed out, ever in our lives. This is the time that I can confirm that Arsenal have acted like absolute idiots in this deal. But we're going to be diving into much of what has happened and why we are here. Why are we talking about Rice to Manchester City rather than a done deal? After Arsenal sent in their official offer, which we have been waiting for a whole week, and eventually it comes in below valuation. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well, and let's have you voting in the comment section. So the poll I've put out is simple. I've gone with very easy options, and the question is: do you think Declan Rice will choose Arsenal over Manchester City? Because literally that is where we are now, right? Do you think Rice will choose Arsenal over Manchester City? This deal could have been closed in the last few hours for me. In the last few minutes, Arsenal could have closed this deal by going with the argument we had with West Ham. We've decided not to go with the argument, and now Manchester City are all over this deal. We might even have competition from other clubs, later on, but at the moment, it is still Manchester City. Now, let's dive into some of the reports that I've really looked at, and I think have made me worried. The first report comes in from James Tucker, the Telegraph, and it says Manchester City are entering the race for Declan Rice as West Ham knock back Arsenal's first bid for England midfielder. West Ham will hope Manchester City formalize their interest, could drive an already high price up further. That is very key here in this conversation. Manchester City are entering the race for Declan Rice. That's number one. Number two, West Ham are hoping Manchester City formalize their interest. And number three, this is going to create a bidding war. This is going to drive the price even further up than it already is. That's story number one. And I think that is where things really get very complicated. Leave alone the first bid being rejected. Leave alone Arsenal having a good deal with Declan Rice. Now things are really complicated. So the full story from the Telegraph reads: Arsenal's opening offer for Declan Rice has been rejected by West Ham as Manchester City consider entering the race for the England midfielder. Arsenal have made Rice their priority, that much we know. This summer, and of course, we think we could sign him as quickly as possible. Talks with West Ham have been ongoing since the end of the club campaign, and the North London side are now understood to have made their first bid for the England midfielder, which was pushed back. So right below here is where Manchester City come in. City are now showing interest in Declan Rice. I'll highlight that for you right from here. So City are now showing interest in Declan Rice in a move which could further drive up the price of the player or even sabotage Arsenal's primary transfer plan. The Telegraph have just written that. And they're saying West Ham's asking price for Rice would be beyond the reach of City, whose financial would not be beyond the reach of City, whose financial firepower has been further boosted by a near £300 million windfall as the result of their extraordinary treble. We are fighting with guys, one, who are very expensive players to sell, and two, They have just, when you wake up in the morning and there is this huge amount of money in your bank account. Yes, you've been working on a few deals, but you didn't expect them to get ripe at that time. And then they get ripe. And then you wake up in the morning with 300 million in your bank account. That is what City are looking at. So they're also saying, they go on to say that Bellingham's Real Madrid move leaves City in a very, very difficult situation and also in need of midfield reinforcements because Bellingham was their first choice midfield target this summer. Right, and they're also saying that he has joined Real Madrid from Borussia Dortmund, and there is uncertainty of the future of key midfielders in Ilkay Gundogan, who is wanted by Arsenal and Manchester City, Bernardo Silva, who is also attracting interest from Paris Saint-Germain. City are in talks with Chelsea over Mateo Kovacic and are still hoping that Gundogan will commit to a new deal. Rice is a player who City have looked at previously without ever formally pursuing the move. Any new addition to the City midfield would raise more questions over the future of Calvin Phillips, but the England international is understood to be keen to stay at Manchester City. Rice has been Arsenal's top midfield target for months, and the club has been confident of securing a deal. All right, says discussions between the two clubs were ramped up after the Europa League, the UEFA Europa Conference League final. So that is what the Telegraph have actually written about an hour ago. Okay, now in the last few minutes, this is what they've written. A second club is set to bid for Declan Rice as Manchester City, Man United, and Chelsea, and Chelsea rival Arsenal in the deal. So they've said, again, I'll highlight this because it's very, very important in our discussion. The race for Declan Rice has exploded, with a second top club expected to bid for the midfielder in the next 24 hours. After an opening offer from Arsenal was rejected. It is unclear whether that club is Manchester City. Ridiculous, we know it's Manchester City. Although sources have confirmed the treble winners regard the England international as a strong option and are very interested in signing him. Chelsea also remain in contention, having asked West Ham to wait as they try to move players on before buying. Okay. Chelsea have asked West Ham to wait as they move players on. Similarly, Manchester United have registered their interest, although it appears to depend on the outcome of their takeover battle. It means West Ham are in no rush. This is also not true for me. It means West Ham are in no rush to sell their captain, even though there is an agreement with him that he can leave this summer. The market will decide. One source said on how much Rice will eventually cost. West Ham will be delighted at City's involvement and potentially that of Man United and Chelsea and possibly other clubs, as it surely will drive up the price for Rice and not simply give Arsenal a clear run. Arsenal are expected to return with an improved bid. So that is where we are now. I hope I've done a good job by, literally informing you of where we are and where we've come from. So I think, listen, the big deal here is that Arsenal have just blown themselves away from this deal. Like it's kind of when you're running in maybe 100 meters, sprint, and then you pull your hamstring. That's what we've done. We've pulled our hamstring while we were leading the sprint. And now everybody's in. Everybody is back in the race. So this is what has happened, and this is why I'm really, really angry with this deal, especially with Arsenal in this deal. On Sunday, Fabrizio Romano reported that Arsenal will enter crucial stages for the deal, and all the big journalists said by Sunday next week, this deal should be done because Arsenal have really done very good work around it, and everyone is convinced that the deal will happen. On Monday, Arsenal agreed to meet the valuation of West Ham. We told West Ham that we wouldn't be paying £100 million quit or fixed or guaranteed, but we would have some money of that, or a portion of that money coming in add-ons. West Ham said, all right, okay, you can go and propose what amount of money you want to pay up front and what amount of money you want to pay in add-ons. That is what was remaining. That was the remaining bit, right? And that's why we kept on saying that at the moment the deal is still there. Arsenal need to formalize a bid, especially about the structure of payment. So it was already agreed that Arsenal will pay 100 million. It was also already agreed that some part of that money is going to come in add-ons. Okay, the proposed agreement cites 92 million plus 12 million. That's 104 million pounds. We waited for Arsenal on Tuesday, Wednesday, and now it's Thursday, and Arsenal have sent in their bid. I tell you what, ESPN's James Ollie and Alex Cook can confirm that Arsenal have sent in a bid that is not even close to what was agreed. Arsenal have sent in an 80 million pound bid plus 10 million euros, 10 million in add-ons. That would be around 90 million, right? 10 million in add-ons, 80 fixed, right? That would be around, that's 90 million. And West Ham are really, really disappointed with Arsenal because we've talked about this deal. They've discussed this deal right from January. We have had contacts with West Ham and, for Declan Rice right from January. So the question is, why did we waste a lot of time to discuss a deal? One, we want to close it early. Two, West Ham want to close it early, and the player is open to joining Arsenal, and he also wants his future sorted very early. That is why we've not sent in multiple bids before. That is why instead of sending in multiple bids and then, pushing back and forth, we have actually decided to discuss and sit down with West Ham and, talk to them. And eventually, we have done the most disappointing and embarrassing thing in the world by going, oh, yeah, we agreed 100, but what about 90? What about 90? Arsenal should know better than any other club that West Ham are not interested in 90 million. Like, they should know. We are the club in the best position to know that. Okay, so for me, look, what West Ham do after here will determine very much what Arsenal get. If West Ham feel very disrespected, by the act Arsenal have done, of course Arsenal will bid again. Let's wait and see how much we are gonna bid again with. But West Ham will feel really disrespected, and this is really disrespectful. When you waste somebody's time in negotiation, you talk to them for how many months? 6 months. You find an agreement after 6 months. I don't know how many days those are, because a year is 360, so half of that. We have spent around 100 and, maybe 70, 80 days trying to come up with the right price. And eventually Arsenal have gone, yes, we've agreed, but for us, this is what we want to pay. If you do not want to pay the 100 million, why did you waste 6 months? There's so many other targets you could go for. Moises Caicedo is at that price, 80 plus 10 million in add-ons. They would give you without wasting your time at Brighton. There's so many players at that price. There's so many, right? We shouldn't have gone for Declan Rice if we never wanted to meet the asking price. So West Ham will feel disrespected, and that is my fear. They feel disappointed. They will feel disrespected because Arsenal are now doing, silly business. And what is actually happening is we have just opened the door to all these other big clubs, to all these clubs, and now everyone is going to question whether we really have the money to pay 100 million, right? Manchester City, like I said, they're the front runners. They're expected to bid in 24 hours. Can you believe that a club that has not had contact with the player or West Ham are going to come in, bid within 24 hours, and for me, they'll take him. Like, they will take him. I've asked you in the comment section there, do you think he signs for Pep or he signs for Pep 2.0 in Mikel Arteta? In my opinion, he signs for Pep. It's what I think. I think he signs for Pep. I think he goes to Pep. I think he goes to Manchester City. One, they have the money to spend on him, right? 100 million. We've already seen it. They've spent it on Jack Grealish. So if anyone goes, oh, Cossy, maybe they do not have the money. They do. They've spent it on Jack Grealish. One, they have done very good business last summer in terms of sales. They will do very good business in this summer in terms of sales. And the lucrative offer that Manchester City have on the table is unbeatable. And I'm not talking about salary and money or benefits. I'm talking about, one, potential captaincy in the future. Two, we are talking about, which Arsenal have also offered, by the way. We are talking about guaranteed Premier League, title win. For me, next season, I think Arsenal will have a run. We might get to 80 points again, or maybe around 79 points. But Manchester City will definitely win the league. We know that. And I'm not going to do any streams next campaign or this summer saying if Arsenal win the league, I don't think I'm going to do that. It's City will win the league again. As all these clubs, try to find their feet again, City will have another easy goal for the league. All right. So City win the league. They give him that kind of guarantee that if you want to be as great as the likes of Erling Haaland, Calvin Phillips, who has Jack Grealish, they already have Premier League wins. Join us. They will give him a guarantee that during your time at Manchester City, you will definitely play with some of the best talents on the planet. If he joins, he plays with Grealish, he plays with Kevin De Bruyne, he plays with Erling Haaland, he plays with Ederson, he plays with Ruben Diaz, he plays with Kyle Walker, he plays with Nathan Ake, he plays with all these fascinating players, the likes of John Stones. Okay, so they will give him that guarantee that you join us, at least for the next 2 seasons or next 2 years, you will be coached by the best manager in the world right now in Pep Guardiola. And after that, even if he leaves, we'll make sure that we bring in the best manager to keep our legacy intact. And there is no player that says no to that. That is too attractive to say no to. Premier League win, UEFA Champions League wins will come, of course, for Manchester City. It was just a matter of getting the first one. Best manager in the world and the best players in the world as well. That is what they're offering. Plus, a very easy, salary for him. Maybe 300, maybe 250, right? A very easy salary for him. Benefits and everything. So for me, I don't think we will compete with Manchester City. The only way we get this deal done, in my opinion, is if all this is a lie, which I don't think it is, right? Fabrizio and David Ornstein, I doubt they would do PR. I really, look, it is possible. It is highly possible that this deal is a hoax, and we are trying to, see West Ham drive up the price, probably. But that is the tiny bit of it. The bigger part of it is that Arsenal have just stepped into deeper waters, and we might not get ourselves out of it very, very quickly. But the other thing I've been thinking about this deal, and why I think we've just made a very, very huge mistake, is we've just let everyone know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. If we had gone with 90 million plus 10 million in add-ons, okay, I kind of feel like West Ham would have easily gone, okay, can you pay more up front? And then Arsenal could have easily said, no, we don't want to pay more up front. This is our deal, right? Because in the last maybe 6 months, there has not been any concrete interest from all the other clubs. No club has shown that they want to bid. No club has shown that they want to agree personal terms on player side or anything like that. So it was West Ham were feeling, were feeling caged. And they look, the feeling was Arsenal are the only serious club around this deal. Well, we've just told the world this is what it's gonna cost, and every club is going, wait a minute. Chelsea have gone, if we sell Havertz and we sell Mount, we can buy Declan Rice. And he's one of the players that we need in this squad. Manchester United have said, if you can hang on and wait for Sheikh Jassim to transfer the funds, we will afford him. And we will give you the money you want. And Manchester City do not even need to hang on. Manchester City are saying, before pre-season, our transfer business should be done, and let's see how much we are gonna give you. Every club is now open. Every club is now back in the deal. And for me, I don't think Arsenal will be in a bidding war. It's one of those situations that I won't be surprised if Arsenal send in a second bid. It is turned down. Definitely for me, it will be turned down. And the reason as to why it will be turned down is because now, Rice is now a global target, right? He's a global transfer target. We are going to see a lot of bids. We are going to see a lot of interest. So West Ham are no longer in a hurry to sell. They are absolutely no longer in a hurry to sell. And you've seen it there from the Telegraph. They're saying West Ham are hoping that Manchester City formalize their interest. They're just hoping for a bid. They don't care how much it's going to be as long as it's a bid. Because what they want is, can we have two clubs already bidding? Okay, that will drive up the price, right? And when that drives up the price, it buys them more time. Manchester United get the takeover, Chelsea get the sales out, and you know where it's gonna end up? He's gonna end up on the wrong side of London, or he's gonna end up on the other on the other side of Manchester, either the red side or the blue side. So for me, we've acted like real idiots, absolute idiots. Now listen. I understand why Arsenal have not gone with 100 million. Done, right? I think we must look like tough negotiators. We must look like, we know what we want, and we are not easily going to be bullied into, transfer decisions. And because it's early in the window, the sign that we have a lot of money to splash around might drive the prices of our potential transfer targets in other areas up. So I understand that. But Madrid have just paid 103 million euros for Jude Bellingham, right? And I tell you what, if they want Kai Havertz for 45 million pounds, they will get him. So for me, it's cautious. It's a very, very cautious deal. But we've gone cautious at a wrong time. I kind of feel like we should have done this deal as straightforward as they come. Right? Just like what Madrid did. Madrid had held talks with Borussia Dortmund for a very, very long time. I didn't see anything like bidding for Jude Bellingham. There was only one club that was interested in Bellingham. That was Madrid. Liverpool walked away. Man United walked away. And Manchester City walked away. And Madrid agreed a deal, 103 million. The structure was agreed. And when Madrid sent in the bid, it was exactly that. It's the very similar situation with Arsenal and Rice. The difference is we have betrayed Declan Rice's trust. And we have now given him thought. We have now given him a chance to think about these other clubs. I'm not saying Arsenal should be panicking. I'm not saying Arsenal should be, desperate. But we should be desperate. We need world-class signings. We need world-class players, right? You look at what Casemiro did at Manchester United in midfield. You look at the players like Rodri winning Manchester City, the UCL, their first ever in history. Declan Rice could win us the UCL in our life. The first ever in our life. He could win us. He could have that strike because he's a world-class player. He's got the potential to become a world-class player. And for me, to have such an opportunity and then we, try to do some, I do trust Mikel and I do trust Edu, but I know Mikel is furious now. He must be furious. I would be okay. It would have been very fine if Arsenal had sent in the first bid just to test the waters, get it rejected, and send a second bid within a few hours. We've seen these things happen. What happened with Moises Caicedo? Arsenal sent in a first bid, rejected. Arsenal sent in a second, rejected as well. So you understand. But we have sent in a first bid and we've been pushed back and it's quiet. It means Arsenal really thought that optimistically this could get the deal done. They really thought that West Ham have no choice. They do. Now, I've been listening to the mid-morning show on TalkSport, and Simon Jordan was saying that West Ham do not have competition. I mean, Arsenal do not have competition, and West Ham do not have a choice. That is all off the table now. That is absolutely off the table. Man City have come in. Man City are now the alternative, right? Yes, Fabrizio says that we're still leading the rest. That is very, very comforting. Like, so comforting, because I'm absolutely nervous about this deal. But Fabrizio says Arsenal still lead the rest. They will and they are in the driving seat. So they will try to beat again. Manchester City are there, but Arsenal still favorites. But we are not favorites against Manchester City. We know that. You're never favorites against Manchester City. There are clubs where you feel you're the favorites, right? The clubs where you feel you're the favorites. But I don't think with City, Arsenal are favorites. Especially with reports coming in from The Guardian saying that they will blow us out of the water. Like, their bid is expected to blow Arsenal out of the water. This is the quote. This is the quote. I'll just show you. I'll highlight it here. We can have a look, right? So they're saying, let's put this into, okay. Says, however, Arsenal's first proposal has fallen below West Ham's valuation. The North London club hoped to spread the cost over a long period of time and look to include add-ons that were seen as difficult to achieve. Rice is Mikel Arteta's top target, and it's likely Arsenal will improve their bid. However, West Ham, who expect to sell their captain, have had indications that City could try to sign the England international. A source predicted that the champions would blow Arsenal out of the water with their offer for Rice. Okay, so that is where we are. That is the scare that Manchester City are going to, propel this deal into crazy limits that they can offer. Right? They've already signed a 100 million player in this side, so they can easily propel this deal to 110 million. Okay, and if they do and set add-ons that are really achievable, it's deal over. Arsenal will easily walk away, right? We will be hearing Arsenal are not ready to go into a bidding war. Arsenal do not want to overpay, but 100 million pounds is enough. If you have the money, put it on the table like a big club. We've said we want to act like a big club, put the money on the table and move on. City didn't make multiple bids for Haaland. Madrid didn't make multiple bids for Tchouaméni and Jude Bellingham. I think we need to borrow a leaf. I really, really do think we need to borrow a leaf from these big clubs if we want to go to that next step, to that next level. Because if we don't go to that next level, all the work we've done is for nothing. The project is for nothing. So we've got to go to the next level, and to act like a big club, to go to the next level, you need to start spending, and precisely, right? You need to identify your targets. I think Arteta has done that very, very well. Since January, he knows who he wants. He wants Cancelo, he wants Tapsoba, he wants Simichan, he wants Caicedo and Rice, and then he wants Kai Havertz. Those are 6 players. Yes, it's a lot of money. It will depend on sales, but if you can get one who is the transfer priority through the door, and then you can start on your business to sell players as you negotiate deals, it would be absolutely all right. So listen, today definitely is not the day that Rice comes at Arsenal. Today is not the day that we strike an agreement, a total agreement with West Ham on the final details of the deal. It's not today. Today is the day that we leave with a lot of panic. Today is the day that we are going to be breathing down our throats at a very, very maximum rate, because Manchester City are in the race and they could potentially take the player. Okay. Now, I wanted us to explore the other part of this is West Ham trying to drive up the price or trying to, propel Arsenal into acting seriously. If this is true, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm really, really okay with it. But I think the central midfield market is now on such a high alert. It really, really is. Because how many central midfielders are up for grabs this summer? Tielemans has gone to Newcastle. McAllister's gone to Liverpool. Rice is there for grabs, is up for grabs. Mason Mount is up for grabs as well. And Barella is up for grabs. And maybe Gabriel Viega. And maybe Julian Brandt as well at Dortmund. And maybe Gravenberch. But there are not so many at the level and quality and caliber of Rice. Players that would make you feel this is a statement. So for me, if Arsenal really want to, send out a statement, we have chosen the right deal. We have really, really chosen the right deal. Now, 191 people voted, and 64% are still saying Arsenal will blow Manchester City away, right? Arsenal will blow Manchester City away, and Rice will choose Arsenal over Manchester City. Now, that is really refreshing. That is really refreshing from you. And I hope it happens. I really, really hope it does, because I really don't want to wake up in the morning and we are talking about how we have, blown this deal and now we are walking away. It's not one thing I want to do. It's not one thing I want to do in a single bid, right? But a second club is in now, and we're hearing that that club is going to be Manchester City, and the bid will be coming in very, very soon. And Romano as well has said that Chelsea are working hard on Moises Caicedo deal. Talks have been taking place for weeks. Nothing done yet. It has always been Chelsea front runners, despite rumors of Arsenal bid in the last few weeks. Arsenal focus remains Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, more to follow. So, two of our transfer priority targets at the moment are not heading to Arsenal, right? Two of our, priority targets, actually both of our priority targets at the moment, are not heading to Arsenal. With Gary Jacobs as well reporting that Arsenal have withdrawn their interest in Moises Caicedo, right? That is Gary Jacobs reporting that Arsenal have withdrawn their interest in Moises Caicedo. I'll show you. I'll share with you this one. Gary Jacobs again, another very, very informed journalist with the Times, writing with the Times. So he says Arsenal have withdrawn their interest in Moises Caicedo. What? I really don't understand this. I really do not understand this. 75 million rejected in January. 75 million could do the deal in the summer, and we have moved away like that. It's quite very, very interesting. It's so interesting and very, very intriguing to see, because it reminds me of the Yuri Tielemans and the Houssem Aouar sagas. We wanted Houssem Aouar, that was 2020 summer. And when it came to 2021, we never went back again. We wanted Yuri Tielemans last summer. This summer, we never went back again. And Moises Caicedo, we wanted him in January. In the summer, we are calling our interest. But it's typical Arsenal. Very, very typical Arsenal. Now, look, I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your opinions. Hit the like button. Let's continue voting. Do you think Rice will choose Manchester City over Arsenal? That is my question for you right in the comment box below. Okay. Daniel says, now who are we going to buy? No idea, Daniel. No idea. Absolutely no idea. I'm telling you. Van says Arsenal is not a big team. Everyone knows who the big teams are, and they are the Champions League winners. Arsenal are just a little disgrace. Someone says, I don't have confidence on Arsenal. I know they were playing games. Look, if we get this window like this, if this window ends like this, I think all clubs will now take us as a joke. Imagine in the future Arsenal wanting a player, because we've missed so many big targets. Vlahovic missed. Who else? Who else have we missed? Mikhailo Modric missed. Again, top priority for us. That one is gone. Bissouma missed. Houssem Aouar missed. Yuri Tillemans missed. So we've chased so many players, and the deals have just not happened, and the deals have just died. And there's no really good explanation as to why these deals are dying off. And I don't understand why these deals are actually dying off, because the next video, I can't believe I'm going to be doing after agreeing personal terms in January and the player being keen on the move and everything, being positive, Arsenal walking away from the Moises Caicedo deal. I will never understand that. But that's happening in the next video. City's 2025 says a true definition of Arsenal being a bench cleaner for Manchester City, just like how the trophy went away. It just says, Cossy, we may not make top for next season. That's John. It's gonna be tough, isn't it? Top for next season is gonna be tough. And look, with Newcastle, if Newcastle buy Barella and they buy Maddison and buy Dominic Szoboszlai just to play on the right or left, that is enough to keep them in the top 4 for me, right? And then you have Chelsea, who have enough quality, but they will get Caicedo. That is enough for them to, if Poch can lift them, that's enough to bring them back in the top 4 conversation. You have Liverpool, who are definitely going to be title challengers, and Man United, who have done well under Erik ten Hag in their first season. They're overtaken by Qatar. We are gonna be the underdogs again. Yeah, that makes us the moves that we were looking at: Caicedo and Rice and Havertz and Tapsoba and Simakan and Cancelo. Those are deals that would propel us to the levels of, yes, we are not owned by Qatari or Saudi Arabia, but we can buy our own players and we can say what's up. But doesn't seem like that. I think we will be the new hot Tottenham Hotspurs. Someone says Arsenal, they can only afford free players. Like Arsenal like wasting time talking about and buying. Fred says Rice, no, let him go. The price is too high. Let us get Caicedo. I don't think Arsenal want Rice to play where Caicedo is. I think Arsenal want Rice as a permanent replacement for Xhaka. So what we are looking at here is Rice doesn't join and Xhaka stays. That is the possibility now. That's the possibility happening. John says, our club has always frustrated us as fans. And Daniel says, I think we have a plan B. We always have a plan B. We always have a plan B. There's no question about that. We always have a plan B. But there is a reason that's why a player is a priority. Not just for a particular position, but for a club in a whole transfer summer, in a whole transfer window. There is a reason as to why a player is named priority. All right? And for me, you look at Rafinha last summer, priority. Our plan B was Pedro Neto. Did we sign him? No. The plan C was Mikhailo Modric. Did we sign him? No. The plan D was who? Moussa Diaby or something? Did we sign him? No. Dixon said the problem is that we have stingy owners. They don't love their team. Our owners let us down. They are useless. Why can't we sell it? Why can't they sell the team? That's why Arsenal, are in fear of spending all that money. John says we need this midfield of Rice, Caicedo, and Odegaard. I'm telling you now, I'm skeptical that will happen. Also says, but plan B can never be like plan A. Definitely. Look, if our plan B for Rice, let me see a player who is very, very similar. If our plan B for Rice is Romeo Lavia, or if our plan B for Moises Caicedo is Romeo Lavia, they are not at the same level. Romeo Lavia will be there, right? But they're not at the same level. But if we decide to go for maybe Amadou Onana instead of Rice, they're not at the same level. But they're both good, very, very, very good players. Alex Van says, other Ron Lucas feel the team and the supporters, but the Kroenke family don't. Your team is finished. Your supporters will stop coming. I don't think Arsenal's finished. I think we will stay there as a big club, but I don't think we will be, compete. I think we'll become the new Tottenham. That's why I've said Arsenal will become the new Tottenham. We'll become that kind of club that, gives you a run once in a while, like we did, and then we fall off for like another 10 years. And then after 10 years, we come back, we compete for some very short period of time, and then we fall off again. I think that's what we're going to become. I don't think the Cronkies will manage the pressure of Newcastle, Man City, Qatar at Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea with Todd Boehly. I don't think they will. Like, to be honest. Charles says, if the club has the money, they should tell the fans. Ryan says, I just don't know how I'm feeling at the moment. Our hopes are always turned down. And John says, Arsenal getting Rice. Relax, guys. My brain has that mode. Relax. Second bid will be enough. Relax. But I'll tell you what. We went with 2 bids for Mikhailo Modric, and they were never enough. Right? They were never enough. So Chimwemwe says, this is not Kroenke's problem. The problem is Edu. I don't think the problem is Edu. Edu has done well in terms of negotiating deals. Edu has done well in terms of bringing us players at good prices, at good fees. I think the problem here is Edu cannot spend what is not there. Right? I think Ed is being sent into these deals. He's told he's 100 million, but go and try. I think that's what we're doing. We are sending Edu into the fireplace to try to calm it down with his breath of air and saliva. I think that's what we're doing. Fred says, I think Caicedo, Odegaard, and Maddison would make a very, very good midfield. Wilson says, for Arsenal to compete in the market with big money spenders, we should get new ownership. So that is it, guys. I'm not even going to, make this one very, very long. We've talked about Rice to Man City. If there are any developments, I'm surely going to let you know. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe. Cheers. I'll see you soon.